Good morning. What we are doing today is a female boot, and the characteristic of the female boot is it's going to be heel. Abi, how do I say it now? It's going to have about 3 inches heel, 3 inches high heel, right? And really there's really not so much difference from the boots we have been making ever since. We have been making low heel boots mainly for men, Abi. So this is for woman and it's not also flat. It's going to be high. Uh, just like we did for the low boots, there are just two ways to draw or to come about the pattern. Either you take the last or you draw it geometrically. The same thing applies here. Uh, you can take the last and you know draw the way, right? Uh, but then you can also draw it geometrically, and there are a few differences between the two. Stand for the From the geometric standpoint, you remember when we always draw the perpendicular line, which is this line here. When you put about 2 centimeter here, for the for this case, it is not going to be 2 centimeters. It's going to be equivalent to the heel. That 2 centimeter is always more or less equivalent to the heel height of male shoe. That's why we always put 2 centimeter there about, right? So for this one, it's going to be 3 inches that we are going to use here. And apart from that, you also know that we always draw our short heel length at a very particular angle, if you can remember, right? The short heel length is the line that we draw across here. And remember, I said you can use 38, you can use 40, right? So the higher the heel, the higher the figure you are going to use, or the higher the angle you are also going to use for the short heel length. For every 1 centimeter increase, you are going to add 1 degree to the angle. So let's say if we have been using 38, for example, and it's for 2 centimeters, right? If you are doing a 3 centimeter high heel of height, it's going to be 39. If you are doing a 4 centimeter, it's going to be 40. If you are doing a 5 centimeter, it's going to 41. If you are doing a 6 centimeter, it's going to be what? 42. Abi? If you are doing a 3 inches on the tape side is equivalent to, what did you get the other time? 3 inches on the tape side is equivalent to about 7 points. Let's just say 7.5, 7.62. Good. So what you are going to do is to add, we were using two, Abi, and that's 38, right? Or 40, thereabouts. Now 7.6 is just about 5.6 extra, right? Which means we are going to we can round it up to, what's it called now, to 8 centimeters, right? So it means we are going to add how many degrees to our 38 degrees? Okay, we have, usually we use the heel height we use for our boots is 2 centimeter, Abi, and we say the angle of the short heel length is always, if we use 38 degrees, Abi. Now I tell you, for every 1 centimeter increase in the height of the heel, we are going to be adding 1 degree to the heel, long heel, short heel length angle, Abi. Now it means if it is 3 centimeter, it's going to be what? It's going to be 39. If it is 4 centimeter, it's going to be what? 40 degrees. If it is if it is 5 centimeter, it's going to be 41. If it is 6 centimeter, it's going to be 42. If it is 7 centimeter, it's going to be 43. Now the height there is what? 7.62, right? So I want to round it up to 8, right? So if it is 8 centimeter, we are going to have 44 degrees. Do you understand now? Instead of drawing with 38, we are going to draw our short heel length at 44 degrees. Is that okay now? Are we good? So that's so we'll come to the book and we'll start drawing the pattern. That's the only modification to it. Every other thing remains the same. So thank you. So to start with, we are going to be putting some values on the table because this is obviously the geometric method, right? You can go ahead and take it. You achieve almost the same results. First, we need the standard last length, which I will designate by standard last length SLL, right? So for a 41 or for a 40, I'm doing for a 40 anyways. Or should I do for 41? The last is 41. So let me do for 41, please. I beg of you. So for a 41, the standard last length is 27.3, Habi. Good. I'll need the short E length. Short E length for 41 is what? Standard last length for 41. I mean, okay, a short E length that we are using is what now? 33.8. The half of it is 16.6, right? Oh, sorry, I beg of you. 16.9. Also, we are going to be needing the ball measurement, Abi. Ball measurement. And that is going to be, it's up. Ball measurement is 24.5, Abi. Yes. 24.5. And the 1/3 after removing 1 centimeter is what? It's 5.22, Abi. Yes. So how did I even get that? So after dividing by 3 and I mean after minusing 1 and dividing by 3, divided by 3 is going to give us 7.83. Everything is inside the table already, okay? I think that will be all for now. If there's any other value we are going to be needing, we'll find out. Now, height of the heel height is equal to 3 inches, and which is equivalent to how many centimeters? 3 inches is just 1 inch is 2.54. So you multiply that by 3, that will give you 7.62, which we can actually approximate to, let's say, 8 centimeters, right? Without any detriment. So let's start by drawing here perpendicular lines. So you draw your perpendicular line. Am I right? What's the next thing to do? You are going to good. So what's the heel height? We have a 7.6, right? So please let me use tape. This ruler can be okay. I've used the ruler. Sorry. So let's measure 7.6. So this is 7, this is 7.6, right? Are we good? So this is the height of the heel. Now we are going to measure also the standard last length, and we are going to measure 2/3 of the standard last length, right? So our standard last length is what? Call it for me. Our standard last length is 27.3. 27.3 standard last length. 27, just 20, no, that's 17. Oh, 50, 10, 20, 27.3. 1, 2, 3. The 2/3 of it is what? 18.72. So this is 18. Yeah. Point what? 18.02. So that's more like 18 still, Abby. So what's the next thing that we always do? We connect this to this, Abby. Okay, so good. So what's the next thing that we do? We are going to take our compass, I mean a protractor, and we are going to measure angle what now? Angle 110 and 70 towards the back or the front. Like this. This is the back of the shoe. Towards the front. So 110 70 is here, right? Uh okay, just in case you don't know what this is like a pattern ruler that can actually show you where that degree is. If you turn like this line is actually the angle. See it? That's what pattern ruler is. So what's the length? The length is 1/3 of the ball measurement. That's 7.85, right? That's 7.85. Remember I said we'll start measuring from the down. How many centimeter from the down? 0.5. Thank you. So if you are measuring 0.5 from the down, it means what we are measuring upward is going to be 7.3. Abi, good. 7.3, right? Are you following? Is it becoming very hard? So you also draw for the angle for the front so that you can also connect. Okay, now now I remember the use of that 5. So we also measure another 71 110, Abi. So you connect. The length of this one is going to be 2/3 of the length of this one, and the 2/3 of the length of the 2/3 of 7.83 is already on the table. That will be, but let me calculate it for you. 2/3 of 7.83 is 5.22. Sure you get now. So 5.22. 5.2, right? So you are going to use your ruler to connect the 2 points together. Just extend this one forward by how many? Okay, 2.5 centimeters. 2.5, 2.5 centimeter. What of the down? You extend this base by 2 centimeter, abi? um I'm not explaining so much here because I believe you already know this, abi? It's just that what we are doing is now for heel. Solo, are you following? But if for any reason you are not understanding, I can now explain. But you are understanding so far. This part remains the same for what we have been doing, right? Now this is only where the difference comes in. The angle that you measure here to draw your short heel length. Now the angle you are going to be measuring, instead of measuring what's it called, 30 degrees, right? I mean, I said 30 degrees. Instead of measuring 38 degrees, what we are going to measure now is what? I already mentioned it before. For 8 centimeter height of heel, we are measuring 44 degrees, right? So, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, right? 44 is around here, abi? 44 degrees. So we connect that to this place, abi? And we extend it forward. And we measure on top of it half of our short heel length, abi? Are you still following? Do you want me to explain anything here? You are following, abi? Stanley. Okay. 16 point what? 16.9, abi? So take your ruler along this line. You are going to measure 16. This is 5, 10, 15. This is 16. 16.9, right? This 16.9 is what you are going to connect to where? Here, abi? And you see that the shape is changing drastically from what we used to do. You see the way it went up. That's exactly it came. Are you seeing it now? It's just basically the same. But what is affecting it is the heel and the angle. They are proportionate to each other. So you can see it now. If you take this last, that's also what you're going to get, because here is very deep. You can't compare it to this. Cannot. It's not possible now, is it? See, that's because of the heel. This one is down there. This one is up here. That's why this one is very steep. Is it steep they call it? So what's the next thing to do? Look for the half of this value also. Then we start drawing perpendicular line on it. Then our boot is almost ready. Just that we now need to now find how much opening we want it to, how much we want it to open. Abi, are we following? Good. So half of 16.9 will be what? That will be 8.45 thereabouts. Good. I'm a good mathematician. I used to know that. 8 8.5, in between 8.4 and 8.5 is good. So you are going to draw a perpendicular line. Everything remains the same now. with the normal one, everything remains the same. Just here. Once you get here, everything else remains the same. So draw a perpendicular line against here, draw a perpendicular line against here, up, up. Then from the center of this one, you choose how you want it to be wide. You draw one portion to this side, one portion to this side, then you blend it to meet here. Then you do the back also. So let's determine how high we want our boot to go. So for instance, this is already the boot from the ground. It's already as high as this. Of course, material will not reach here, material ends here, Habi. So we want the material to get as high as this, right? So by using a tape rule, there's there's no limit to how high you want it to be. Your material will speak for you, right? So this is a 14 centimeter. So let's say we want it to be 14 centimeter high, right? So you measure 14 centimeter from here. It's the same thing, Abi. When you measure 14 centimeter from here, this is 15, this is 14, Abi. What do you do to this part here? You are going to draw a line at an angle. I told you that line is what? 83 centimeters, 83 degrees. If you don't want to bother about the angle, just draw a perpendicular line here, downward, upward, I mean. Abi? So you can draw a perpendicular line on this one to cut here and here. Then you now raise this one by about 1.3 centimeter. You get, Abi? Okay, so the 1.3 centimeter is not a fixed number. You can make it smaller, you can make it even higher, depending on your taste, right? So if you measure 1.3 centimeter upward here, this is what you get. 1, 2, 3. You are not connecting it here, please. You are connecting it to this back. It will slightly raise the height of the boot you want to do eventually. Sure you get. Now uh okay. The other way you can do this is to just put this at an angle of 83, Habi. 83. This is 80. This is 80 here, right? This is 90, Abi. This is 90, this is 80. So just draw it at 83. Sometimes you can use as much as 85, but just draw 83. See what you have here. Put one dot here at 0 here. Put another one at 0 here, right? Then is there a red barrel here? Okay, don't worry. Let me use pencil. Then you connect the two. The two line will cross at the center here. and to give you this point. Sorry, let me see something. Okay, no, it's not coming here. It's going to pass through the center of this one. Sorry for that. It's going to pass through this. Yes, when you raise this one by 1.3, it's going to pass through the center of this one, not coming here. I apologize for that. Is that okay? So when you do that, let me use barrel for that one. When you do that, see the difference between the barrel and the pencil is not so far-fetched, abi. So anyone you choose inside is fine. If you don't know how to use angle, you can just put 1.3 centimeter upward, then it should pass that point, that exact point backward. Is that okay? So they are more like the same thing. This one is lower at the front or higher at the back. So if I'm very sure if you put it at this is 1.3, abi, if you put it at 1.4, they will most likely be the same thing. You want to see it, there's no need, right? So what's the next thing to do? How wide you want it to open, abi? So how wide you want it to open? I think I have something on the table here. That's average opening. Okay. What's first? So we want the opening of the boot to be 25 centimeter, 25 centimeters, right? And where is the tape rule? What that means is we want it to be this wide, the opening of the boot, but it's looking very small, sha. So let's take it a little bit more to, let's take it 26. Is that okay? So opening is 26. Half of 26 is what? Or one third of, I say one third, one fourth of 26, because it's going to be the full length that we are drawing is going to be half of the 26, right? So half of the 26 is one is going to, half of the half is going to stay here, half of the half is going to stay here. So half is 20, half is, the full one is 26, half is going to be 18, abi. Half of 18 is going to be 9, right? So 9 times 4 is going to be what? Is it possible? Sorry, 26 divided by 2 is 6, is 13, not 18. So half of 13 is what? 6.5. So we are going to put 6.5 from this point forward, 6.5 backward. Is that okay? So this is 6.5 from here. Let's mark here. And instead of marking another 6.5, we just mark 13 backward. Abi? So this is, eh? The line is already connected now. Okay, the front part and the down part. Now, uh, as a rule, as a rule, whatever how wide your shoe is going to become at the opening, it should not get to this line. It should not get to this line. You can have more. In fact, the higher the boot is going to be, it will get to some stage. What's the height of this one? The height of this one is 14 centimeter. In fact, as soon as you get to 16 centimeter, you will not now start following dividing forward and backward again. You know the reason why. The front of the leg we assume to be straight, continuous to your knee, while the back will be becoming bigger because of your calf, abi. So it is only logical that you be adding more to the back than the front. So but for this for this part, it's not so much relevant because we are still around. We have not gotten to where the cap will be. This is just height of 14 centimeter, and that's why you can always divide forward and backward equally. But if the boot you are doing is going to be very long, you cannot do that because so much will be in front, it will not be enough at the back, and it will affect the fitting. So at this point, the next thing we want to do is to uh the next thing we want to do is to do the uh, height at the back. I mean, the height of low shoe at the back. And how do we do the height of low shoe at the back? Yes. Of course, even if we want to connect something, we are going to connect to meet one measurement here. Don't you remember? Yeah. So for the back, you measure about 2 centimeter upward. From here, you measure 2 centimeter upward, and you measure the height of the counter height, which for this case is 6.4. 6.4. From there, you are going to measure 2 centimeter inward and connect it to this place. Abi? So let's measure 2 centimeter inward. So that's more like 2 centimeter inward. You don't need the line, you just need the points there. Then you measure like this, right? So after you measure like this, that is when you now use your French curve. Where's the other smaller one? So after measuring 2 centimeter from here, 2 centimeter towards here, you connect to the straight line. Then you are going to use the French curve to connect from here all the way to here. One thing that you are going to notice is the French curve should follow this straight line a bit, then to come here, but it's not going to be straight up to here. It's going to leave some space from here. So you are going to follow here, then you start deviating away from it until you come here. So literally, you can use your hand to draw it, but let's use French curve to do that. So that will be like this. Just set your French curve in such a way that it will follow this one straight up to some level. Then this part is going to meet this one. So that is going to be this, right? So when you draw, you see that we have this a little space, then we have this almost straight, then we also hit this one. Then you can mark about 2 centimeter there for your lasting allowance, right? That's the end of the curve. So now what we did before is to use this part to determine the height of the boot, which now has proven to be not so useful because of the fact that it looks short at the back. Yeah. Let me see. So because of what we did here, the back looks short, right? She dey come. So what we are going to do is to now use, we are going to raise this a bit because at the end of the day, by the time we put it here, by the time we put it here, the height is just the height is just barely here. So let's raise it just a little bit. And by way of raising it just a little bit, um, we are going to, where is the ruler? because we want it to also be parallel with this arrangement, right? You can just draw a line. You can just draw a line like this. This will be the new height of our boots, right? uh but in case you want to pick this place directly, what you have to do is to just, where's the protractor? So in case you just want to use air direct, what you can just do is to put this at 83 degrees. Also, that also means that you are going to do this. This is where 83 is. You maintain this point on this point and you simply turn until you get to a 3. When you get to a 3, you are going to draw exactly the same thing, right? And that will be equivalent to, so you just mark the end of it here, then you are going to connect this to it. You draw it forward, it's going to land here. You can see that it is synonymous to this line that we drew, right? Good. So now this is our back. The next thing we want to do is let's transfer upward this upward, right? So that way we can have this, right? So we can have this and this. So the next thing we want to do is to just curve this inward until you jam this. Make sure you don't jam this at this very point, just a little. So just curve inward until you jam this. That will be your height for the back. Then this one also, which is here, you just curve until you pass through here. You can go a little ahead of this if you so desire. There's really no issue about that. Then you make this form a good curve. uh Instead of using 0.5 centimeter below, I mentioned that we should put it back here. So the line is literally now going to be like this, right? So you can also, once you curve inside here, you can also curve around here to meet here, right? So this is going to be the template for the boot. If you want it to be a Chelsea boot, you put your elastic like this. If you want it to be a, which other kind of boot now, a zipper boot, you put your zip at a very convenient position. Is that okay? Correct. So because of the fact that we have the template of this last, I'm going to reduce how much length we have ahead. uh Mind you, this is what the template looks like when we this is what the template looks like when we align the very tip of the back to the very tip of here, like that. Then we raise it to meet here. This is what it actually looks like. We have uh, by the time we get to the baseline line gong, by the time we get to the baseline, we have this to be synonymous to, we have this to be looking like this. The area of conformity, this region here, comfort, conforms, and this region here. Now, for the much space that is actually here, you can be sure that one is what you last inward. So you get that one can go down. Uh, then for the differences here, I'm going to check out. We are going to test this, okay, to see what it actually looks like. Then um, we are going to come back and draw another height of the boot that will meet with this. If it's going to be this one that we want to meet with, then we are going to come the height of the boot, I mean the back, sorry, is going to be like this. Remember, this is the lateral part of the of the last. This is not the main form. If you have ever drawn main form, you always notice that they are usually longer at the back. One will be longer than the other, then you get the average, then you use. So that average will most likely be around this space. But let's test what this actually looks like. So I'll need shafts now. Oh, that's an allowance. Please always remember to make sure this is 2 centimeters, because when you want to set the height of this one, you will not be able to use this one to set it, because you will not actually be able to see the back. So you will be able to use this one to gauge how high it should be. What you just have to do is, if your marco or the thickness of your insole is about 4 mm or whatever height, you are going to remove it from 2. That will be the remaining thing that will show. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Let's say you want to last this now. You want to last the boot now. You cannot say this is where it's getting to, like we always do for low shoe, abi. Let's say now, because boots usually require thicker insole, I mean high heel require thicker insole, it will not be this tiny, because shank is going to be inside. It's going to cover the shank so that it can be rigid. If it is not rigid, when you are walking, you can be sure you will not be balanced. So you get, that's why this is this thick. If there's any other heel, you see that it is also thick. It's not flat. It is never flat. It's usually thick. It is for support. Shank will be inside and has to cover the shank. Okay, so let's say this is the thickness of the what's it called now? Of the what's this thing called? Insole. Let's say, for instance now, uh tape rule. This one is about 1 centimeter thick, right? So the way you are going to know how much lasting allowance is going to remain is, if this is 2 centimeters here, and you know that your insole is already 1 centimeter thick, what will show when you are lasting it has to be 1 centimeter. Do you get? That's the way to know how, that's the way to maintain the original height you plan, because there's no part to mark. Do you get? So if you, since you already know that this is going to be about 1 centimeter long, you can decide to make this one about 2.5. Then you will know that the resultant height, I mean lasting allowance that will be there, will be 1.5. I hope you understand now. Do you get? So that's how to know where the height of boot should get to. So a good way to do that is, because this is curved, it is not straight. You can simply just bend your tape around it to measure how much it is. So for instance now, this is just about 2.2 centimeters. This is just about 2.2 centimeters, right? Okay, so I can make it up to 2.5, which will be 2.5, which will just be around here. So here is 2.5. So when I'm lasting, if our insole is as thick as 1 centimeter, I'll know that 1.5 should be left outside. Abi, is that okay? Good. And if our insole is 0.5 centimeter thick, I'll know that it's 2 centimeter that will be outside because the total lasting allowance is 2.5. Are we okay? So that's how to deal with that. Okay, so this is our boot pattern. When you put it on where the so this is without okay, let me gum a little paper here so that the lasting allowance